8 of our households live at or below the poverty level. When I came home from my tour of duty in Iraq, I decided to run for mayor. At that time, Newton had a $40 million structural deficit, no rainy day fund, 2 of the worst conditioned school buildings in the state of Massachusetts, 1 AAA bond rating that was in danger of being downgraded. In the 8 years since I've been mayor, we've eliminated the $40 million structural deficit. We're building 5 new schools in the next 6 years, 3 of which are completed. Next is being constructed now. We grew a rainy day fund that didn't exist to $22 million. We have 2 AAA bond ratings in the city of Newton, and we're reducing the achievement gap in the Newton public schools as we speak. We got there because of transparent, outcome-based budgeting, and because I wasn't afraid to raise revenue at the city level. The same principles must apply to our state budgets. Now, I got into this race because of the defining issue of our time, economic inequality. And me and Charlie Baker have a very clear difference on how to address economic inequality in the Commonwealth. Yes, I believe in many of the policies that are progressive that my opponents do, and I'm sure you all do, $15 minimum wage, paid family leave, single-payer health care. But I also believe that we've got to ask people who are doing really well to contribute more so we can invest in people and things that matter. Start with folks making over $1 million a year or more. 3 areas I want to touch upon this today before we get into a conversation. Education. Right now we're underfunding public education, K through 12. We need to revamp Chapter 70. We need to invest in public education, expand it, including free public college. We all know that transportation has been cut. Roads are falling apart. Bridges are falling apart. I just talked with the folks from the South Coast RTA. They're trying to make sure we have service on the weekends. We've got to expand the regional transit authorities, not cut them. We've got to make sure we have South Coast Rail and transportation that gets cars off the road and gets people where they need to go. And we've got to deal with this opioid epidemic. 7,000 people have died in the state of Massachusetts since 2014. Over 5 people a day are dying. 70 people are becoming addicted to opioids in this state. We've got to be honest about the fact that we've got to invest in treatment. Yes, we need education. Yes, we need prevention. But we've got to ask those who are doing really well to contribute more so we can adequately treat people with opioid addiction at the community-based level. We can no longer embrace Charlie Baker's low expectations and status quo in any of these areas. And that's why I got into this race. A round of applause. Thank you very much. And the work that you do, the Coalition for Social Justice. Thank you for what you're doing. Look, when I think about this moment in our Commonwealth and our country, I think about those Parkland kids. Weren't they remarkable? They decided that they were not going to embrace the status quo that politicians want them to in regard to gun safety in this country. And they inspired a movement, thousands of high school students and young people around the country, not to embrace the status quo when it comes to gun violence. We need to take heed and listen to them. We need to go beyond gun violence. We need to not accept the status quo when it comes to climate change in our state. We need to not accept the status quo when it comes to educating our children and our workforce in our state. We can't accept the status quo and low expectations of this governor when it comes to transportation and getting people to where they need to go. And we can no longer accept the status quo when it comes to treating people with opioid addiction. We can't be afraid to ask those who are doing well to make those investments.